Hello and welcome back to Girls with Goals, episode number 83. You're probably wondering to yourself, who is that and where is Niamh Maher? Well, she's in holidays living her best life in China, and I'm Denise Curtin and I am joining you for this week's episode. And who else is joining me on the gorgeous couch? It's been 1038's Laura Bracken, who is also presenter of the Zoo Crew, and the lovely and extraordinary Louise Carroll from Her, content creator and journalist. Ladies, it's fabulous to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
This is your first time on the couch. How are you feeling?
I was a little bit nervous, not going to lie. I was like, I've never done anything like this before, but I was like, it's Denise, it'll be fine.
It's grand. It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Just a chat with the gals.
Chat with the gals. And we said it's a great episode to have the two of you on because we're talking all things entertainment. And I think every now and again it's great to do an episode like this because so much does happen in the entertainment world. Yes. And especially at the moment, there is just so much going on. It's great to have a recap and a roundup and just a general chat about things. Mm-hmm. So I think it's probably best that we start with crazy tea that's going on at the moment. The biggest drama out there at the moment is James Charles.
Yes.
Have you been keeping up to date?
I have.
Kind of. I have. Now, I wasn't like a big follower of either of them. I'm not going to lie.
I'm not going to lie. Taddy Westbrook is new to my vocabulary this week.
I think it's new to everyone.
Taddy Westbrook. Where do I get them? How do I wear them? And I was like, oh no, it's a woman. Okay.
With a really catchy name, might I add.
Yeah, very
Taddy
catchy.
Westbrook.
Yeah, because I think when this scandal first broke, people were like that. What's a Taddy Westbrook? What's a James Charles? So if anything, this drama has brought around a serious amount of publicity for both of them.
Absolutely.
But for people who do not know and that are listening and watching, what actually happened was that James Charles, who's a 19-year-old YouTuber, and Tati Westbrook, who is a 37-year-old beauty YouTuber as well, had a massive falling out because James promoted Sugar Bear Hair, which is seen as Tati's competitor, would we say?
Yeah.
To her Halo Beauty supplements. And she just kind of lost the plot, really. And I think for her, it was the last straw in a lot of drama that has gone on in the past and a lot of drama that she stuck up for James first. So she decided to just call a spade and was like, James, what are you doing?
It strikes me as something like where there was a lot going on in their relationship to begin with.
Yes.
And then this kind of, betrayal, if you will,
Yeah.
even though it only has anything to do with business, which is kind of, I don't know, a little bit unfair. It kind of makes me wonder, like she's saying there were certain things up until now in their relationship that kind of made her question him and the friendship and
Absolutely,
how loyal and how respectful he was towards her and yada yada. But then I'm kind of here going, well then why didn't you say something then? Like why does it have to get to the commercial and business side of it to be like...
Maybe it was just kind of the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe she might have had a few words and on the side, but like, James, not really cool. But then to do something so publicly, and so it's almost like a direct target at her. I'd say it's direct competition. She was probably like, enough is enough. Like, I don't need to babysit you anymore. I'm done.
Because James does say that his audience is quite young and promoting supplements isn't something he'd like to do because he doesn't want to influence them into taking something that they probably don't need, especially when they are, 13 or 14 years old. But then when he does go away and promotes a competitor's brand, it is quite a knife in the back, Absolutely.
It's a big middle finger to the face.
It is a middle finger. But what I want to know is, what is your thoughts on this whole ordeal? Like, do you think she's being unfair? Do you think this is right that she's called James out? Or do you think that, like, James, as people are saying online, needs to be cancelled? Which is a word I hate that I'll get to in a minute. But
that term.
Yeah.
I think it would have been wiser to separate the two issues. Like if he's going off and kind of having straight men question their sexuality, then stick to that subject.
Mm-hmm.
I would leave the whatever he was selling sort of to the side.
Yeah.
Because I think mixing those two things, it's like they're so different.
There. Yeah.
I don't know. That part was weird for me. But at the same time, I'm glad she came out and said something because I would want to know if someone was like that. And as you say, he does have such a young audience. Like, that's pretty serious to be doing that.
Yeah, because I read a good tweet, right? It was from Ellie Saab, is her name, on Twitter. And she said, if James Charles would have promoted Tati's vitamins, do you all think she would have made that video exposing him for trash?
It's a tricky one. I mean, I feel like I don't really like the way she publicly did a whole 45-minute video calling him out. Like, I understand that she did say, look, YouTube was my last option. I was trying to get through to him. He wasn't listening to me. And I suppose she did have to address the issue in some way. But my fear is by her having millions of followers as well and putting that out there, she does opened him up to a lot of negative backlash. And I think, okay, fair enough, hold his hands up, he probably did something wrong. But with that comes a lot of negativity, a lot of online bullying, and like he has to read all that kind of stuff, and that could have really negative implications on him.
I think
and it will.
I completely agree. And I think if you're going to call someone out like that, like at the end of the day, she is 37 years old, okay? And he is 19. And although he has probably done things in the past that are, you know, ridiculous and things that he should have never done, and he has apologized for them publicly, it's still not a good idea to blast someone like that online and to call them out for 1,000 things at once simply because you're infuriated by the fact that he didn't promote the supplements. And I think, like you were saying, the straw that broke the camel's back, that drove her crazy because this is her business and her baby. But then to publicly call someone out for hundreds of other things he did, and then to think about like the fact that she has so many millions of followers that they are going to, you know, target him. And he lost, what, 3 million followers, and then she gained 3 million, and
Something like that,
5 million or something. Yeah.
Like, I think you, like everything that you do online nowadays, you need to be really aware and conscious of the impact that it can have. And I don't know if that's something she took into account.
She did release another video last night saying, look, I didn't think it was going to take off. I didn't think it was going to be as big as it was. I'm reading a lot of negative things about both me and James, and I wanted to stop. So I think, okay, she did kind of open this can of worms, but fair play to her, I think, for putting a stop to it, and I just hope it's not too late.
Yeah.
You know?
And then in terms of the cancel culture and everyone saying that James is cancelled and James should be cancelled and, you know, this crap.
I think he just needs to learn to have respect for people, because that's what it all comes down to. Like, imagine if I came up to you and I was like, oh, but you're really gay. You'd be like, what planet are you on?
Yeah, no.
Who are you? Like, what? It makes no sense. And it comes down to like having respect for others and, you know, letting them be them and, you know, James be James. And I think it's kind of unfair in a way because he has to go through all of this so publicly.
Absolutely.
Whereas, you know, none of us would have to. We would just get a kick up the arse by someone we work with or someone at home
or a friend or something like that.
Exactly. And like a lot of the negativity that he is getting are from keyboard warriors and people that are thriving off the drama. And I think if this had happened, you know, if James, right, sexually harassed people and it came out publicly that he did, I don't think there'd be so much of a ordeal around it if there wasn't a public fight or a public dispute between two bloggers or something like that. People live off watching drama unfold.
I mean, I'll put my hands up and say I didn't know who Taddy Westbrook was, but because there was so much drama, I was like, I want a piece of this. I want to have a look.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I think though there is a line, like I will happily watch drama but not go and troll somebody about it. Like I'm kind of like, I would never do. I just don't think anyone deserves to read horrible things about them online.
It's just a curiosity you have.
It's a curiosity thing. But I think, again, I do thrive off drama, but there are people out there who will troll you, and that's where it gets dangerous. That they want a bandwagon. People want a blood hunt. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, they absolutely do. And like Vice had a really, really good article as well, and they said there's part of us that thinks James Charles deserves it, that he should have everything taken away from him because after further research, he's really quite anger-inspiringly irritating. He comes across as vapid and shallow and self-obsessed, but what did we expect? The internet is a bleeding ground for people who make money off literally being a mass of cells that put makeup on, and if I was that influential at 19, I'd be far worse.
But that's the thing, he probably got so much so young. I mean, like, he probably didn't. It's like when you go on Love Island, you become a celebrity overnight. You leave the villa, you've got millions of followers. You're not trained to handle that. So if you're getting a massive following, like James Charles, from doing makeup, you're mixing with celebrities. At 19, I wouldn't have known how to handle that. So I don't know how he had handled it.
No. You know what the thing is as well with Tati? And this is probably a mean thing to say, but he probably saw her like a mom. So you know the way she was like, oh, I gave him so much and I gave him deals and everything. The same way that your mom would do something for you, you'd kind of run with it.
Yeah.
And when you do become even more and more famous and you gain more following, you probably do forget to respect where you came from and things like that. So you can understand him being so young and Tati being kind of like a mother to him, how he just kind of ran with it and now is in the shit.
You also wouldn't expect your mum to, you know,
publicly
slam you on YouTube.
Thankfully, my mum wouldn't know how to do a big YouTube video calling me out. Very, very grateful.
Imagine Laura. Here's the tea.
Here's the tea.
But what are your thoughts then on loads of other celebrities getting involved?
I think, I don't know, again, I wouldn't like to call it cyberbullying, but I think when you have an Instagram account, you are totally within your right to follow and unfollow whoever you want. If someone is annoying you, if you don't agree with what someone's doing, I think a nice little silent unfollow is enough.
Yeah.
I think I would rather them unfollow him than publicly slam him on Instagram or write a nasty story about him. I just think if you want to unfollow, unfollow. I think when you're a celebrity, you are going to get caught up. You are going to want to take sides. You're going to want to look the best you can possibly be.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So you don't damage your own brand. I mean, look at Kylie Jenner. She probably unfollowed him because she has her own makeup line and her own skin range. Like, you know what? That's a bit of competition.
Yeah.
Don't want that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I would rather if someone had a problem with me, I'd rather them just unfollow me, and that speaks 1,000 words rather
Yeah.
than be like, she's a bitch or
Yeah.
she did this, you know, that kind of way.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's
Yeah.
just me. I
Yeah,
don't-
no, completely, I
Yeah.
agree. But I think as well, like, when you become the victim of something like this, you know, when everyone decides, like, you're the person that's going to get targeted now because of the online fight that they had and everything, he became, like, the perfect target. And when you're in the spotlight
is
as
an
well,
easy target.
he is an
He
easy
is. He's
target.
so
Like they
easy.
said, quite anger-inspiringly irritating.
Yeah.
You can see that because he
Yeah.
does come across as shallow and he does come across as self-obsessed. And because he is so young, he is easy to pick on, which is a horrible thing to say.
Yeah, I
but
agree.
then when you have all the celebrities unfollowing you and everything, it's very easy to, like they say on Twitter, become cancelled really fast.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but that really does scare me about the era that we're in. That
Yeah.
all of a sudden, you know, you can see every move that everyone's doing. And like Kim Kardashian and Kylie, they don't have to say a word, but because of the
Yeah.
unfollow, we know. They think he's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Zara Larson thinks he's
Yeah.
done. We can see
Yeah.
so clearly everyone that's
Yeah.
like finished with him.
Yeah.
But that is the thing about social media, though. Like, people leave like short little comments, and it's so obvious that it's just an opinion. There's no like research or education behind what they're saying.
Yeah.
It's just a reaction. So, like, that kind of is very hard on people as well. Like, for him, just being like reacting to the whole situation rather than actually trying to understand it
Yeah.
and how it got to that point. And it's very angry.
It's
Yeah.
very scary though,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I hate that term cancelled, and I hate the idea of like, you know, the era that we live in. It's like you only like, you know, the more followers you have, the more of like a better person you are.
Yeah.
And like, I understand it's an addictive culture when like even myself, if I put up a nice photo and get like 20 extra followers, I'm like, ka-ching.
absolutely.
But at the end of the day, I'm not a better person than I was 9 o'clock that morning when I didn't have them. But when you're in that kind of culture
Yeah.
and followers mean everything, I just feel like the term cancelled is just really nasty. It's almost
so
like
nasty.
playground,
Yeah.
like you're not my friend anymore.
Yeah.
Cancelled. I just think it's so nasty.
It's
And-
also
Yeah.
a thing where like that might be all he has. Like, I don't know what, you know, does he have like true friends? Does he have
Yeah.
like a really good family behind him? Does he have like a network of people who really support him? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know when you just have a shit ton of followers.
Yeah. But a lot of that blogging culture though, like you do tend to become really close with other people who are in your
Yeah.
industry.
Yes,
so
you do.
I'd
Yeah.
like that a lot of his friends were in the beauty industry, and now that if they're all turning against him, like who does he have outside of that? And that's the part that's a bit worrying. Regardless of what he's done, it's the network outside.
Yeah.
You'd be worried if he doesn't have that anymore.
It's kind of like the media industry in Ireland though. Like if the media industry in Ireland, because it's so small, similar to, you know, the top dogs in the blogging industry worldwide, if you did something wrong and you were cancelled by all your close media friends, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
You would
Good luck.
good
Yeah.
luck. You would kind of think, where am I going to go and what am I going to do?
Back
so
to
that
college.
To London.
off I fly.
Leave card at the ready.
But that's the thing. That's the thing, and that makes it quite scary.
Yeah.
You know, and I think as well, Shane Dawson. Do you follow Shane Dawson? Would you know who he is? No.
Years ago, like years and years ago, when he used to make like really silly videos. But I don't really go on YouTube anymore. That like when I was like 16, 17, I would have been on YouTube, but not.
And
not
it's
quite
massive
anymore.
with 16, 17-year-olds as well now. Even my sister, she's 19 and she's obsessed with YouTube. Like YouTube is her TV.
Yeah.
So it's insane to see.
YouTube is great.
How many people use it.
love.
But Shane Dawson, anyway, he did a series with Jeffree Star, who would be another massive beauty
yes,
blogger,
yes.
and he's also an entrepreneur. So he's got his own company. And it was all about the secret life of Jeffree Star. And just because Jeffree Star was a very controversial person in the past as well. So it was all about who he really is. And, you know, it divulged into his life and his, you know, his bullying in the past and his relationships now and how he makes his business bigger and better. And the two of them, you know, combined for the series, and it was a 5-part piece, and James Charles actually starred in it too. And in the episode, you could see that all three of them were quite close and like really, really good friends. And after that, they did more episodes together. And now Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson have gone against James Charles too, being like, oh, we think he's cancelled too. So it scares me because it makes me think how quickly things like that can change and how nasty any industry can become if someone decides that you're done.
It was obviously something building and like festering for a very long time for people to just be like, okay, finished with you. Out.
I get the impression that we're just hearing about a few bits. Like he must have done other things, whether that was just like talking about people behind their back. I don't know, but this like there's way more to it, I think, than we know. But what freaks me out about the whole cancelled thing is that like it's not like you falling out with just like a close knit of friends. Like these people have millions of followers who follow you, who idolize you. So you're not just cancelled to Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star. You're already cancelled to about 30 million other people who are influenced by you. And like, you know, even if you go online and you read something silly about you, like even if it's just like, oh, I don't like her hair today, like, and you take that on board, imagine that being multiplied by millions and millions of people. How are you not going to feel like the world is against you?
Yeah.
Like I get a mean, like if I get a mean email sent to me about, I don't know, an article I wrote or some shite like that and someone just disagrees with what I said, I fully think about that all day. Like I'll laugh about it and I'll be like, I don't care. But it still plays in your head. So I can only imagine if I had 30,000 followers or 30 million followers, 30 million followers, the impact that would have of hundreds of thousands of tweets coming in constantly saying, goodbye, you're done, bye sister.
Yeah.
You know,
to people that you've never met or who probably didn't even know your name by the start of the week. You know, it's really scary.
And then people have these massive theories on exactly everything you did, and you're thinking, you've never even said hello to me. How could you know? And now, like, I don't want this episode to look like I'm fully defending James Charles because I know that, like, a lot of shit that he did do was wrong. But it's just about looking at the other side of it that we're not really seeing enough of online, which is the fact that your words can really impact people's lives.
And a lot of people will go online and be like, you know, you need to be kind. Be kind is the best thing you can ever do. But these same people are probably trolling other people.
Yeah.
Like I've had it done to me. I remember I put up a tweet about the royal baby and I was like, I'm so excited, royal baby is here. And some guy started trolling me who I'd never met, who just obviously saw me like because I'd hashtagged royal baby and was like, there's more important things to life, get a grip. And I went on his profile, picture was a car, and all of his tweets were either giving out to people
a transformer
or football. And I was like, okay, so there's more important things to life, but you're just tweeting about football and being negative.
Like you're not there on hard news every day.
People take out their own problems on like, it's such an easy platform, like online, it's so easy to just get at people for no reason. Like if something is going on in your own life, it's like, okay, I'm going to take it out on you. And you don't have to come face to face with them, ever. It's so easy.
Yeah, but it's kind of like that. Anytime I get like an email and then at the end it's like sent from my iPad, I just imagine the person like pressing send and being like, that'll show her. You know?
Show them,
And I'm just kind of like, fuck's sake, you know, what was the point in this? And it's like, understandably, if they're about something that maybe you did wrong or something you missed, you know, granted, thank you for letting me know. But when it's just like there's better things going on in the world, well then just switch off. And I think that's what needs to be taken from the James Charles thing as well, that if you don't like him, just switch off.
Just switch off. Don't tweet anything negative because at the end of the day, these people are going to read them and it's not going to have a very positive impact on them.
And like he's so young.
He's so young.
He's so young.
Like if all the things that we all did when we were 19 were put online, we would probably be embarrassed or cancelled as well.
Goodbye.
Cancelled. Absolutely.
Goodbye.
I even think about that when tweets resurface and people attack other people for what they said in the past. Like some things granted, but other things I'm a bit like, sure, we've all said that. Like, let's be honest, we've all said shit online that we're like, that was actually not okay at the time.
And people do change. People grow up.
People grow.
So
and when you're young and you're given a phone when you're 9 years old, which is probably wrong as well, it does lead to things that are probably not meant to happen, you know. So
and if you're 19, your best pals are Katy Perry and Kylie Jenner, you're probably going to lose the run of yourself a little bit. Instagramming everything. I know I would.
A Bentley and you're going to Coachella, like
and
another
the Met Gala.
And the Met Gala.
I would lose my mind.
I would
so much
lose
fun.
my mind. But even with Coachella, so many young people are going to Coachella now. I'm like, am I getting old or what's going on? Like James Charles and their gang seemed like old compared to like, did you ever watch Dance Moms? The stars of that were there and they're all like 14 and 15. But anyway, I'm going so off topic.
So Dance Moms.
A special. What do you think is going to happen with the James Charles saga? Where is it going?
Where is it going? I hope people take away from this, as you said, is to just, if you don't like it, switch off. I hope it's a lesson that we can all make mistakes
Yeah.
and grow and maybe learn to deal with things in a better light. I hope
Yeah.
that James Charles, if he has done everything that he is being accused of, I hope he learns from his lessons and sets a better example for his followers.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's all
I
we can
think
hope
time
for.
is such a good healer as well. Like the majority of people, there will come a time when the majority of people don't actually remember this. So he'll be fine.
Yeah.
He's 19, he's so young, he has his whole life ahead of him. He'll, you know, hopefully grow up, be more
Yeah.
respectful.
Yeah.
He'll be fine.
Exactly, because I think with every scandal, you know, they are like the center of attention for a minute and then they do pass. You know, like
Yeah.
the Jordan Woods thing as well. That was like, that blew up and everyone was speaking about it. And then again, like that, it passed on. And now, you know, she's probably back living her everyday life and doing what she does. But
Yeah.
when it is festering and it becomes so, you know, it's on everyone's phone and everyone's talking about it, it is really difficult. And you can imagine for the people who are living in it to try and like get through it and move on and
Yeah.
apologize and do better. So it is a case of just like people need to be like wary of what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And it's how he handles it as well.
Exactly.
Like, look where Kim Kardashian is, because like that sex tape really did so much good for her. Like she kind of flipped it and was like, okay, I'm going to be famous because of this.
Yes.
And like get all these huge deals and just, you know, live the dream.
Yeah.
Like he could do that if he plays his cards right.
yeah.
And so could Tati.
Well, she is. I'd say Halo
Yeah.
Beauty subs are on the fucking rise at the
I'd say
moment,
so.
you
I
know?
think she'll probably come out of this better than he will.
Yeah.
I don't think his platform will be what it was.
It'll be different.
Yeah.
very
It'll
different.
be different.
It'll
Yeah.
be very different. Anyway, okay, as we're moving on from one thing that was quite serious and quite, you know, what's the word I'm trying to think about? Sensitive, we could
Yes,
say,
yes.
to something that's a bit lighter, because we're all talking about entertainment today, Love Island. You mentioned it a minute ago when you were saying about people becoming overnight celebrities. It is what it does, really.
Yeah.
How are we feeling about the next season?
I'm excited. I am. I loved last season. I really did.
Watch it.
Louise, this hurts my soul.
I know. It hurts
really
mine
does.
too, because I come into work and everyone is talking about it and I'm just there in the corner like, oh, working
like,
away.
Adam
like,
Holland,
oh,
you
yeah,
say.
it was great.
Yeah, I am really excited. It'll be interesting to see what they do with this year's season, obviously, given the recent circumstances with two of their former Islanders.
Yes.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of aftercare they implement, if they change.
Mm-hmm.
I heard they might be getting rid of Casa Moore, so like they won't have that kind of, you know, where half the villa goes off to meet new Islanders, and it's kind of playing a lot of mind games. It's kind of
Yes,
psychological
absolutely.
torture
Yeah,
almost.
it drives them crazy.
I heard they might be doing away with that, so it'll be interesting to see, you know, what changes they make.
Because you were saying yourself that you're almost a bit scared to be excited about this series.
There's a lot of stuff online,
why?
and people, I think, it's kind of just people evolving and kind of waking up to reality TV. But obviously with the recent cancellation of the Jeremy Kyle show, some people were kind of making
okay.
similarities, saying, well, Jeremy Kyle was kind of preying on the vulnerable and those who needed help, but is Love Island doing enough to support the mental health of
Yeah.
their Islanders after the show?
Yeah.
Um,
You would wonder.
You
Yeah.
would wonder. And I know previous Islanders have stepped out and they have, you know, varying comments. Some of them are like, yes, it's great. Others are like, no, it's not. But I think the ITV bosses as a whole just need to come together. And I think they have
Yeah.
to just make sure that they are protecting the people who they shoot to fame on the show, because we know ourselves, if we were given back our phones after being on Love Island, we had 40 million more Instagram followers
I'd be
than
throwing
before.
it to
Yeah.
the side of the room.
I
Yeah.
would just be like, how do all these people know about my life? I was just on holiday there in the villa for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
What? You
What's
know?
going on?
Yeah.
And they say as well that the cameras are so hidden that you'd be there scratching your arse not knowing that it's like zooming in on you. You know?
I'd be there with my Suda cream, just like, hello, plucking the eyebrows, picking my nose. Like,
I know.
yeah.
See,
Like
this is,
everyone gains from it. Like, okay, ITV, all of the contestants, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like nothing compares to your mental health. Like
Yeah.
it's just so important. So like I do hope that they provide something
Yeah.
where they can kind of just go, okay, this week has been a really hard week. I need to talk to someone to just let it all out.
Yeah.
So that would be kind of cool. If they
that
did
would be cool. I
Yeah.
think aftercare is definitely a major thing that they need to reassess and change. So hopefully we'll see that with season 5.
course.
Is there anything else that you're hoping to see with season 5 that was different to the previous one?
Like on screen. I think more Islanders. I think it gets more exciting when they throw more people in. I think because like Danny and Jack were paired up from day one.
Yeah.
So, like they were the given winners.
And they were done.
They were
They were
done.
kind of boxed off.
Yeah, I think just throwing more people in, I think upping the numbers a little bit. And I also want to see more variety.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. Like I remember watching that last year, eating spice bags going, if I was single, I would not be applying for this show. Because
And you know
like,
what was the great thing as well about it, which I was like, this is a fecking trigger, is that they put in takeaway ads in the breaks of the show.
So funny.
Yeah. I was there seeing a big pepperoni pizza, and then I was watching like Georgia Steele's abs of steel, and I was thinking, what are you doing to me?
She's not eating that.
Adam Collard slow-mo in the shower with the abs. I'm like, okay, cool. That's
Me with
not
garlic
me.
sauce dripping from my face. Like, hello.
Same thing.
I'd rather be here anyway.
I think more variety of contestants and more of them. I think more contestants more frequently.
Yeah.
But like different body types, different race. I think the variety would be amazing.
It would test their loyalties to one another so much more. I mean, more people.
You know what I need to see too, and it really is just a thing that has been driving me crazy about the last season, is I don't want any people that are shooting to fame already, if you get what I mean. Like
Yes,
I
you want newbies.
I want fresh out the box people who are actually trying to find love again. I know that sounds so cliched, like God bless her. But
And fame.
yeah, and fame, okay, granted fame. But people who are like, I want to just give this whole world a shot. Because the people that they're choosing between Danny Dyer now, you know, who was like the daughter of Danny Dyer from EastEnders and stuff like that, like they're picking on people who are already slightly in the spotlight.
Almost everyone who was in the villa last year has some kind of like link to fame. Like Paul, who ended up with Laura, he was in a Britney Spears video.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think as well then that they open applications to people, right? And I think was it 60,000 people applied in the first day last year.
I think they have people picked before they even open that. Like you've got producers on that 10 months for the year and just like scrolling through Instagram going to like her. Like even one of the girls rumoured to be going in this year is an Instagram model. And I'm like, that's not healthy. That's not cool. If you want to put one or two Instagram models in, fine, they exist. But if they're all absolutely chiseled, like contoured to the nines, I'm like, that's not real life. You don't look like that when you come out of the pool on holidays.
It's not, and I don't know, do they realise this or not, like ITV? But when the Islanders come out and they're like, oh, how did you get onto the show? They're like, oh, I was approached on Instagram.
I was scouted.
I was scouted. It's like, but there's an application process. So are we tossing this aside? And like I even know some Irish influencers who I've spoken to recently who have all told me that they've been DM'd about being on Love Island. Yeah, 3 or 4 of them.
What a compliment.
Oh my God.
So it just goes to show, they're all like, oh God, no, I wouldn't do that. But I'm like, so wait, this is just constantly what's happening? Dr. Alex, I wonder, do you think he was scouted? I don't even know. Did he apply?
They probably just found him. Yeah.
In the hospital.
Getting
Getting some blood.
Someone on a drip.
Went in being like, want to go on Love Island?
Someone on a drip is like, you're hot.
Show me your six pack. Yeah. But like that, I do want to see more diversity on the show. I think that we need more body types potentially as well, you know, so that I don't feel as bad when meeting a takeaway.
Okay, I see what you're both saying. But does that turn it into a kind of a different show altogether? Because I think part of the appeal to some people, a lot of people maybe,
looking at sexy people on the screen.
Yes. Yeah. And like having this kind of body that you're kind of going, oh, you know, I'm too busy every day, I'll never have that. But at least I get to look at one. So it's like,
I agree.
Yeah, I think there's a part of it, but I think another part of it is just kind of like, you know, you can still see a body that doesn't have a six pack and be like, that's sexy too. So it's just about like adapting to more bodies because we don't see them enough to even give them a shot at thinking like they look good in a swimsuit and wedges too. So there's that side of things. But the contestants for this coming year as well, they're quite a fecking mixed bunch. Have you been looking at them?
Yeah, I'm going to say
just
boring.
Rochelle Hume's sister.
Yeah, Rochelle Hume's sister. They've got Logan Carter. Do you know him? He used to be on Big Brother.
Is he the guy who has his penis insured?
He has
for £12 million.
He has his penis insured for 12 million. And see, this again.
What can this penis do?
Talk about having an ego, like, oh my God.
But this is what I mean. I'm like, they're scouting people and they're like, oh, that's brilliant. That will, you know, bring in a bit of fire.
Though, did he?
Oh, he didn't know.
Logan, I barely remember.
Yeah, Logan, yeah. I don't even know when he got kicked out. I didn't even have it written down. But, yeah.
Sorry, how does that work, though?
Getting your penis insured.
If something happens, his penis, an insurance company is just going to hand him to what?
I don't know how this works. I actually fully don't know. And I'm kind of like, is it that like...
If he's ever in financial difficulty, like...
Oh my God! Louise. Oh my God.
Cutting the onions and then
Oh dear.
what am I saying?
How did it happen?
Cutting onions.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got his penis insured for 12 million, which makes me think why.
Interesting
And
character.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, is it really small or something?
Yeah. I
don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
well, we're not going to even
Details.
go there. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's confusing. We have Rochelle Humes' sister again, like a
Celebrity connection.
Celebrity
Last year,
connection.
Leanne Pinnock from Love Island, her sister was rumoured to be a reserve as well. I'm just like, I want a Joe Soap. I want an average girl who's like, I was working in an office 9 to 5 and now I'm going to go find the love of my life. Don't go to the gym, love a takeaway, you know, just live my life. That's what I want to see.
That is what
You
I
know?
want to see too.
Yeah.
And I think it's really difficult because that isn't what we're seeing. Like, look at last year. I know you didn't watch it, but you kind of know bits and pieces about it,
Yeah.
and you were addicted to it like me. All the couples are split. They've all split.
There's not one
There's-
couple left.
No
None of them.
loyalty at all.
There's no loyalty.
no.
Loyalty.
And the way that they broke up as well makes me think, were these contracts? It just fell so evenly.
It was like dominoes. It
It
was
was
like
like
one fell
dominoes.
2 weeks later, the same day, another breakup. Like
Yeah.
it was, yeah.
And I think then as well, is it because all these people are semi-celebs to begin with, that when they do get, you know, the hike in followers and the hike in fame, they're like, oh, I've done what I wanted to do with that show.
Yeah.
Which is the issue.
Probably.
It must be really tough to like not have a straying eye. Now, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, if there are hundreds of guys or hundreds of girls sliding in your DMs after
Yeah.
being on the show, not say they all want a piece of you.
They do.
Like, if you're not that interested, if you're only with the person for being on TV and like like how do you know if you love someone just from being on Love Island? You probably don't.
You
I'm
don't.
just
Yeah,
being-
you
I'm-
probably-
I'm
no.
being very
No,
cynical.
I wouldn't.
Like if you're because realistically, when they do the initial pairing, you're basing it on looks alone, and
Yeah.
looks will only get you so far. Looks are what
Yeah.
attract you to the person.
Yeah.
But if they're not a nice human being,
Yeah.
they're not going to stay with you, and you're not going to want to be with them. So
I
if
know-
you've got like loads of selection,
Yeah.
you're going to want to just be like, bye.
Fucking tough. It is
Yeah.
tough. And I think as well, when you're in a villa and you know that, you know, you at the end of the day, it is a competition and you're here to try and win £50,000, you have to try and find love. And it's such a small group of people as well that you're like, once we pair up, we can do whatever we
Yeah.
want when it's over. But like that, you have so much choice when you come out. And if you've made your fame and you've made
Yeah.
everything else, you're just kind of like, I'll
Yeah.
toss it away.
It was lust after all.
Exactly. It was lost. But that's the problem. I think they just need more people that like aren't like, I know it's hard to say that aren't in it for the fame because it is Love Island at the end of the day, but are looking for something different than just Instagram followers.
More authentic people.
More authentic
Yeah.
people, yeah.
Yeah.
I was even talking to a few people who believe that the best thing to do would be to cancel Love Island for a couple of years and bring it back.
Ooh.
I don't know. I wonder how different Love Island would be if part of the contract was you're not allowed to have an Instagram account for the first year after the show.
Yeah, that's
Because
a
they obviously
very
wouldn't get
good
the brand
question.
interaction, you wouldn't get the followers. But what if you had to do like other types of work? Like what if you were just starring in like TV adverts or,
Yeah.
you know,
Like
fashion
old school,
shows or
yeah.
something like that? I wonder
That's
how
bad
different
for
that would
ITV
be.
though.
In fairness, yeah.
But like it just goes to show, you know, it's interesting when you look at
Yeah.
it from that perspective. Like Montana Rose, do you remember her? Montana
do,
Rose Brown.
yeah.
Yes. She was saying that her main reason for going on Love Island, she was on it in 2017, Louise. And she was
Louise is
saying,
like, it's just like a circle of birds
Louise
going
is
around.
like, what's this? She was on it in 2017 and she said that she went on it to become famous. Like that was her
At least she's honest.
goal. And
Yeah.
she was honest. But having one of those is grand. But having everyone who's like, I don't care about the love, it's just the fame, makes it shit when it's over and you do become invested in the
Yeah.
relationships, which is embarrassing, but you do.
Yeah.
And then they all split and you're like, oh my God, that was all a
Yeah.
setup.
Yeah, it was all a setup. And it's like I had to actually unfollow a lot of them from last year, I'm not going to lie, because
Yeah.
I got sick. It was almost like, you know, when you're watching TV and the ads come on, you mute it or you just like go to a different channel. That's what Instagram is like now. It's
Yeah.
become part of the telly that you don't want to watch anymore. And I was like, I'm sick of
Absolutely.
seeing like hair supplements, hair extensions, makeup. I'm like, I don't care.
You
Yeah.
can look like them too.
I don't want to look like them. I want my face to move. You know, I like my forehead wrinkles.
When I frown, I want you to see my frown.
I
yeah.
like my laughter lines.
I want
Let's
you to
keep
know
it.
I'm angry.
Yeah, literally. But that's the thing, because I remember with Jack and Danny, I had to unfollow the two of them because every post was an ad. I was like, I'm going to go back to find a post that wasn't an ad. And it was like one picture from like a holiday. And then I scroll back down again. It was one picture from like just when they came out of the villa. And then before that, it was all pictures from just when they actually were semi to not famous. And I was like, this is kind of scary. Like I know you have 1,000 brands rushing in your inbox the minute that you finish the show, but it's about, I think you need to be selective at the same time. Like Adam Collard, I'll never forget, the minute he came out the Love Island Villa, he went on a 60-date tour around Ireland and the UK.
I remember going to the girls in the office like, I think Adam's coming to Killarney. Just like, why?
He was going to Mallow, my hometown in County Cork.
Excellent.
I was just like, what? Like the nightclub that he was going to as well only opens on selective dates. That just goes to show where he was headed to. Do you know what I mean? Like, what?
I suppose they have to grab their 15 minutes of fame
Yeah.
because like I even remember like going to some events, actually you were at a couple of them as well, where the Love Island stars were there and you and I were like, oh my god, this is the most
And
exciting
they're
thing
like
ever.
pushing my boobs.
Yeah. And
And
now if they walked into the room now I'd be like, all right.
well, what's the crack like? Look at your romantics, he's unreal. That's what happens.
Yeah.
They have this quick spike and then things drop down. But from series 2017 to series 2018, what I found was that the love just wasn't there. It's so cliched and sad. But
I have a question.
yes.
So, is it not more likely that people will find love in society itself rather than Casa Amor? Is it?
That's the other
That's
house.
the other.
Oh. I was like, Love House. I was like, makes sense.
Yeah, but we can't watch people in real life fall in
Yeah.
love. You know,
Yeah.
this is what this
I
is
just
like
don't. I don't
for
know why
themselves,
they
you
think
don't
they
think
will
they'll get
find
love.
love.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. Like they're like from the 2017 series, there's 2 marriages. Hasn't there been?
Yeah, and a baby on the
and
way.
a baby on the way.
Jess
yeah.
and Dom.
Jess and Dom
Yeah.
announced
I
that
like
they
it.
are having
Escalated.
their
Wow.
they're having their first child. So like
yeah.
that's what I mean. 2018 series has no kind of follow on, you could say, in the sense of like love that you're like,
Yeah.
I watched that blossom and I watched that grow and now they're
Yeah.
having a baby. And
Imagine explaining to that child later on how you met, like as their parents.
yeah, I know. It's
But
We
by
were
the
trapped
time-
in a
by the
house
time
on
that
an
kid
island.
grows up, that's going to be so normal.
yeah. Oh, it's going to
Yeah.
be.
They're going to be like, oh, like it's literally going to be going around in your primary school, and like, hey, did your mum and dad meet? What show did they meet on? Literally, The X Factor.
Oh my God, mine was Britain's Got Talent. Yeah, this kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
Exactly, because there was another article that I read in The Guardian because I was, divulging into what makes Love Island great and what we need to do to like bring it back and make it good again. And they were like, there's a lesson on how this is a lesson on how humans meet, mate, hate and doubt themselves and one another again and again, what's not to love. And I think that's
Oh, that's true.
the main thing about Love Island, because you were saying like, how do they not find people in real life? Like that's way better. But when you're on that show, besides the fame and everything, you are kind of in this enclosed environment with other people, and it does give you just time to leave love grow, or
Yeah.
to leave, unfortunately,
It's like a little
drama
experiment
grow.
we're all watching.
It is an experiment that we're watching, and I think what makes it great as well is that we get to look at this and we think, oh my God, that's so like what I do with my boyfriend when I act, really needy and crazy. Like, so do other people. I'm
Yeah.
not alone.
Yeah.
And like, you can ask your friends about it, but you don't really watch any other relationships, maybe bar your parents, in such detail,
I get you, yeah.
So I think that's why like love needs to become like a bigger part of it. Like I'm scared that with the lineup, the penis boy and and
What's his real name again?
and
Penis
Logan
boy?
Carter.
Logan
Yeah.
Carter, very good.
And the Saturday Sister, I'm just like, is it going to be all people that are just like, posing and just really not there to, throw their
Yeah.
hair in a bun and
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I want to see girls with
Cash on
Sudocreme
and-
on their face. I want to see the guys just hanging, like,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
belly's hanging out a little bit. Like, we're all human at the end of the
Exactly.
day. We don't look like,
yeah.
we want to look like that for 2 weeks going on holidays. We work our asses off.
Yeah.
We don't look like that the rest of the year.
And there's like less, like, not just sex, but like kissing and everything in Love Island year on year, because I think people are just trying to protect their image so much that Love
Yeah.
Island isn't becoming like the trash TV that we love it for. So,
But in fairness, no one really wants to rock the bed on Love Island.
No,
Do you know what I
they
mean? Like,
don't.
I think
No,
Jack and Danny
not
had
Big Brother.
the right idea.
They did.
I think by keeping it quite PG, because at the end of the day, your parents are at home watching.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You don't
Oh,
want to be doing,
God.
as I said, if you wouldn't hang it on the kitchen fridge, don't do it.
But then again, that's like the problem is that we watch it for that. Like you were
Yeah.
saying, Jack and Danny were just boring TV at the end of the day. Like we're like, okay, they're the solid winners, and they were cute to watch because we're like, their love is so sweet. But at the end of the day, your eye was drawn to Georgia Steele because you're like, she's an asshole, basically.
But then again, you probably have to get fame-hungry people on the show to do that, because us average gals wouldn't be
We'd be
doing
like,
that
well,
on the telly.
how are things?
Yeah, how's it going?
And I could not have my parents
This is
watching
my
it.
side. That's your side. Don't cross the boundaries.
Yeah, I know. Well,
So we can't have it both ways.
We can't have it both ways. And there's a lot, we could be debating Love Island all day long, and it is quite stressful. We literally could. It's quite stressful because it is a case of what do we want in the new series, what haven't we been getting before that we need. But I think what we're going to notice as well, and this is going to drive me insane, my last input on Love Island season 5, is that when the next season starts on the 5th of June, we're going to notice so many people tweeting, oh my God, it's not as good as last season. Do you ever notice that? The beginning of every season, people don't give the new season a chance, and there's just an influx of tweets and commentary and opinion pieces on how it's not as good as the season before, and that drives me
and they've built
up
it
the
up.
walls.
They've built it up for so long.
People build it up,
amazing.
and because the cast changes constantly, unlike your favorite TV series and stuff like that, people forget that you need to give each season a chance as if it's like a fresh program.
Of course.
And people forget that, and those tweets just drive me up the bleeding walls.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Mute those ones.
Mute those ones. But yes, so Love Island, I feel like I'm plugging the show now. Love
I
Island.
might actually watch it. Maybe I'll watch
Coming
it
back
this
on the
year.
5th of June. You should. You should. I'll be excited to see what you see. And what we want basically is good aftercare, plenty of love, and just more
Real
tashing
people.
on. Yeah.
Real humans.
People who don't mind creating trashy TV, because that's what we
Yeah.
need to watch, and that's it's our switch off. So yeah, absolutely. Okay, fabulous. And our last little section of entertainment news before we wrap things up is about the royal baby,
Wee little Archie.
little Archie.
Archie Harrison.
Listen.
I
Mountbatten.
I love it.
the name Mountbatten Windsor. It's so regal, isn't
It's so regal, but at the same time, Archie is kind of like a bit of a slang name, so it's
It is.
kind of
Cool.
cool. It's
Yeah.
cool,
It is.
They
Yeah.
could have called him like Bartholomew or something shite like that, and we'd all be like, oh, another
Boring.
royal.
I really did think it was going to be like Alexander or something, which is cute too, but a little bit more common.
Because our fascination with the royals is pretty insane,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's
Well, in here,
in here it's
Yeah, in
crazy,
here
and
it's insane.
even like her listeners and readers, we've noticed how crazy they love it too. Like it's just something that everyone wants to absorb. Like the royals could do anything, and we want a piece of the action.
Yes,
which is
absolutely.
crazy.
But you know what's interesting? Like all the royal pieces that we write and stuff, they don't get a lot of comments, but they get so many views. They people are interested.
We're so nosy.
But so
nosy.
nosy.
It's
but
secret
yes.
people that are trying to
it's
keep up with it and
secret
don't want
people.
to.
Yeah.
They probably hate themselves for loving it, and they're just like, okay, well, no one knows that I looked at it, so it's okay.
It's because we don't really know a lot about them. Like they're such a private family.
Yeah, completely. And their Instagrams and stuff like that aren't, promoting tea, feckin' supplements and things like that. Or
Hair
vitamin supplements.
extensions.
So it's not what we're used to. It's very regal. So
Yeah.
any information or any inside scoop that we can get, we're on it like lice. It's
I love how Harry and Meghan have an Instagram account now.
Yeah.
I just think that's so modern, and I love everything that they're doing. Like they're really setting a whole new trend for the royal family. Because realistically, they're never going to be king and queen.
No,
Yeah.
they're not. They won't be.
So
no.
she's a Hollywood star. He was always a bit of a bad boy prince. I'm excited to see what they're going to do going forward.
I am too. And they are quite the unusual pairing. You would never think that they would cross
you
paths.
would
and
never
they
put
have.
the two of them together.
Exactly.
I'm still kind of like, oh my God, I'm really happy for both of them. And especially Harry, because I feel like, it wasn't as easy. I don't think he had an easy time.
No.
growing
And
up.
if you he spent years checking tailgating Kate and Prince William around to events, and I'd say he was just kind of like the third tit in every picture, being like, hello. So I'm glad now he's got his other half that he can be like, well, we're a pair too,
Absolutely.
And they are very interesting to watch because of the fact that they are such an unusual coupling, and they've kind of come late to the royal game, if you could even say. So yeah, they're
a lot more real than the rest of them. And I get that Kate and William, they have a job to do. They will be on the throne someday. So they have to kind of be a little bit more stiff
proper.
about it, more proper about everything. But at least these two are having a bit of crack,
Yeah.
It's good to see.
And see, we know all the kind of substance to Meghan because she used to be an actress and she was married before, and all these things that the royals would see as being like,
Can't be doing that.
The Queen would be up in flames.
That's why Charles couldn't marry Camilla.
Yeah,
Let's not
exactly.
forget.
Let's not forget. So it just goes to show that our interest in them is so vast now because we know a bit about Meghan and we know the substance to them and we know that there's more to them than just like the royal wave.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
sorry, she looked fab
Yeah.
bringing out that
my
baby.
God.
Yeah.
She
I was
looked
like, oh.
phenomenal.
I know.
And so natural as well. She had like a
Yeah.
little bit of pudge in the cheeks, like, and I mean that in such a good way.
Yeah.
Like she looked phenomenal.
She was
and
glowing.
She looked
healthy.
like a woman that
So
just had
healthy.
a baby.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know?
Which is what we want to see,
And
not
we've
mannequins.
we've never seen
Yeah.
that before with the royal family. Like Kate, I felt so bad when she had to step on those hospital
I
steps.
felt sorry
and
for
was
her.
Like,
I really did.
Kate, well,
she
she was
looked weak.
probably-
She looked like she couldn't. Like she was so skinny, and
Yeah.
if that's how you're made, great. But
Yeah.
she just looked so frail, and
I felt like Kate
just a lot
popped
of
out the
pressure.
baby and was in makeup, like while
Yeah.
the baby was being,
And
like,
the
umbilical
hair,
cord was being
that
cut,
blow
and
dry.
she was getting a curly blow dry and her makeup done.
God.
That's
Yeah.
what I mean. Like I'm
I
glad
felt
that
bad for her.
Yeah, I'm glad that Meghan gave herself the 2 days, and which is even still not enough time.
Not enough
but-
time. I would be giving myself 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and I'd still be there, top knot,
Top knot.
matching velvet tracksuit, something
You
real
brow.
chav,
Yeah.
you know. But and lastly, do you think we're going to see much of Baby Archie anyway, since he is the topic of the month?
Well, so far we've seen his feet.
Yeah, we've seen a lot.
Good
a lot
pair of feet.
Good pair of
Great
feet.
pair of feet.
Solid feet.
gorgeous
Solid
baby feet. Yeah, we'll give them that.
I think we might. I think we will. I think the fact they have an Instagram account, I think they kind of want to let the world in a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think they do.
The human
Yeah.
interest is there.
Yeah.
People want to see it, but also if they don't want to show it, they don't have to.
They don't.
They know how to control it by now. They're
They
very
do.
good at it.
They're very
So,
cunning, yeah.
Yeah.
And
They'll
I
be-
like the way
they'll be
Meghan
fine.
seems to be behind the page as well, because
Yeah.
I'd say when she was joining the royal family, losing an Instagram account was actually probably something that did kind of hurt her, because
Yeah.
she was a blogger and she owned the TIG, which was kind of lifestyle wellness and
was her thing.
beauty. It was her blog and her
Yeah,
baby.
it was her thing.
And I think that, you know, having to maybe excommunicate herself from the world and people like she used to talk with over social was quite difficult for her. So it's great that, you know, Sussex Royal is up and running and they
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
chat
yeah.
behind that and stuff
And
like
they
that.
have so many projects that they want to do, and like helping people in various ways, and I feel like that's like their kind of the thing that probably brought them together a lot as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, what better way to do that than social media, you know? So they have to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because and lastly, before we finish up, I was saying that because people are so obsessed with the royals, right? We were talking about this around the desk the other day, and I was like, I wonder if we had like an Irish royals, would people be obsessed with it the way they are with the UK royals, because we have such a a interest in them here.
Yeah.
So we put up a poll on Her's Twitter account, being like. Like, would you love like an Irish royal, an Irish royal
royal.
family? That's actually really hard to say.
Yeah.
And people were like, "What the hell, no."
Oh, I
So
saw
shocked.
it. 3 seconds later, I was like, no. And Rebecca was like, yes, yes, yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Rebecca, another one of her writers, was like, "I'd be obsessed with this," and I was like, "Me too." Imagine how glam that would be.
Yeah.
Like us, like
If we think about it, we are kind of obsessed with like Irish celebrities.
we are. So I was like,
I
"Our
think-
family would be insane." But
I think Irish people, like our culture, we're way too like prideful, if that's a word, like proud or whatever, to kind of admit that we're obsessed with royals. But
Yeah.
we do not want our own royals.
No.
Like, no. That just
But
goes against everything,
yeah.
like our history and everything. I just think it
But
doesn't
also, I
fit.
feel Ireland's so small that like we wouldn't have the same element of mystery. We'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, that's Bridie's cousin
Yeah.
there on the throne. Sure, I know her.
We'd
Do you remember
know
she
them.
did this thing down the corner. And, like you'd know everything about them. There'd be no need for like
Sure,
a
we'd be on the
secret
throne
Instagram
ourselves.
account.
and the like security that they have in the UK, sure, we wouldn't be
Yeah.
able to match that over
God,
here. Like
no.
Michael D has like one guard on a squad in a little squad bike,
enough.
going
Yeah.
ahead of him. That's all he needs. Sure, he was seen
Yeah.
at an ATM in College Green as well, just taking out a few euro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And imagine trying to
So
tax people again to give like the king and queen their
Oh, there'd
pay.
be murder.
Like, oh my
Oh,
God.
there'd be murder.
There would
Absolute
be like
murder.
people marching with fire.
Yeah.
Just got like a Simpsons scene there in my head.
Pitchforks.
Pitchforks, but yeah. So our poll was crazy. It was like 98%. There was like 400 or 500 votes, and it was like 98% absolutely not, and like 2% yeah. You know? So
Yeah.
we were
Bit of
like,
crack.
okay, so we're the only ones.
Yeah.
that like
Okay.
that.
Grand.
Good to know. Good to
Yeah.
know. But anyway. That wraps up another episode
Whoop,
of
whoop.
Girls with Goals. My first episode as a host by myself. The pressure.
You did
Thank
amazing,
you. Do you hear
sweetie.
me literally looking for a clap?
Cue card clap now.
Yeah, me like, please. Thank you so much for joining me, Laura Bracken, Spin 1038. When are you on the Zoo Crew next?
Monday to Friday, 7 till 10 with Jazz Keen.
Yeah, see, Jazz wanted that
Ooh.
plug, so that is for you, Jazz. The
You're
plug,
very welcome,
Jazz
Jazz.
will be happy.
the plug of the show. If you want to hear more of Laura later on, she's on air again tonight. And Louise?
And myself. Oh, I'm supposed to say something.
Yeah.
Well, it was lovely being with you all. Until next time.
You can catch me on Her.
You can catch me on Her. I write for clients, not the people.
Anyway, I was Denise Curtin. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you again next week.